Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we have the 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse Premium, and we are at one of our favorite roads to test the handling of this muscle car, and we have some additional package on this as well that are meant for the drive that we're doing today.
It'll be interesting. You know, the Mustang's more of a drag car, but the most modern rendition of it, the S650, is a big step up, and being the Dark Horse, this is the big boy for the 2024 model year. So let's see if it can handle the turns and how fun this car is. It weighs a little bit, but we got a big old V8, good tires, good suspension. Let's see how this thing handles.
All right, so behind the wheel of the Dark Horse now. This has been a pretty fun muscle car to drive. I've been driving it for a few days, but I haven't done anything like this to really rip on it. I will say the automatic in normal day-to-day driving doesn't seem that fun in my opinion.
Yeah.
But going, what, a quarter mile so far? It actually seems very responsive. Like in stop and go traffic, or if you want to downshift from 10th gear, you got to hit it to get down to like 4th gear to get that power.
It seems like it's an automatic that you either just drive like normal or keep it under 6th gear to use it as a normal automatic.
Yeah, but honestly, this is a lot more fun than driving it around the city. I've been in the manual too for the latest generation Mustang, and I do like that, but honestly, this is very responsive too.
Yeah, so this
is a lot of fun.
Pretty fully loaded with the upgraded suspension. You're gonna have Brembos. We're sitting in the Recaro seats.
Dude, this can actually take turns.
Yeah, it's impressive how flat it feels. It doesn't feel like a Mustang, which is a big old boat for the most part in comparison to some sports cars.
And for its weight too, this is almost 4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
It's around 3,900. It actually seems at home.
Yeah, as a passenger, you're really sitting in the seat. Like you got a good grab handle on the right. That bump, man, wow. It's a very rigid platform.
This is impressive. Now, we were actually in an EcoBoost Mustang on the tail of the Dragon, and that was so unsettling to drive.
It was awful.
It was awful.
It had no handling package or anything. Yeah. It was horrible.
And a lot of people were telling us how wrong we were, but now that we're in a car meant for this, the EcoBoost has nothing on driving like this. This is so much fun and so much better.
I think the key just flew out of my pocket.
We also have the Pirelli P0 Trofeos on this. So the grip, I mean, I'm not putting my pedal to the floor, but...
Yeah, it is a little chilly out, so we're gonna watch it a little bit.
But they seem very grippy.
Oh yeah.
So...
Which, the only downside, normal driving, this car wanders a lot. It's kind of exhausting. So you gotta be pretty committed to get these tires, I'd say, for daily use.
Dude, this is a lot of fun.
So how's it, I mean, I guess I'll know in a second, but how's the transmission not dealing with the 7, 8, 9, and 10?
It feels good. I've only got to 5th, maybe 6th gear. So when you're playing around with 2, 3, 4 gears at a time, it's definitely a lot more beneficial. I guess on our drive home when we're on the highway in 10th gear is where you can save some MPG, I guess. But this thing is a gas thirsty.
I burned over a 16th of a tank just getting here.
Yeah, I know. I've gone...
I didn't even drive fast.
I think I went 170, 180 miles and had almost a quarter tank left. And that was just normal driving, like not doing what we're doing now. I think we're probably going to burn over a quarter tank in like 12 miles. So
probably.
But it doesn't require premium, so I guess there's a benefit of saving more at the pump. But it's gas thirsty, so it depends on how your right foot feels that day.
Yeah.
But other than that,
it's impressive.
It's impressive, yeah.
As a passenger guy, it feels like a very confident sports car. I think Ford's really getting out of the muscle car stigma, I would say, to where it's not just a drag racing straight line car.
Well, I think what the independent rear suspension probably helps with that more so than the older models, right?
Yeah, I mean, the S550 was a huge upgrade, but I feel like that S650 just, not only do you get a way better interior, but I feel like the refinement level is much more there to where not only does it feel like a more sound car, just normal driving, but the handling feels like it's got much more confidence to it.
And we do have a little bit increase in power in the Dark Horse over a GT. It's not a whole lot, so I doubt you really feel it.
Yeah, unless you like daily drive the GT right now.
Yeah. But I'm sure you could maybe get some more power out of this if you wanted to. Supercharge it or something like that. But this feels like it's an adequate daily and an adequate amount of power for driving like this.
Yeah.
So you probably don't even have to touch this with how it's set up.
And even already with the active exhaust, I mean, you have the fun factor of normal, quiet-ish for a V8, but then you can crank it up and enjoy the soundtrack.
Yeah. All right, you ready to give it a shot?
Yeah, let's see what this thing can do. All right, on to a new perspective. I will say, so in sport mode, it didn't even do a burnout. So it's kind of nice to see how it manages traction, I think, way better than previous generation Mustangs.
This model does have the line lock though, so you can set it up to do burnouts and stuff.
Yeah. The steering feels a lot better in the...
Oh, you know, I didn't even mess with that, because there's a steering button. Does it automatically do it?
Yeah.
In sport?
Yeah, so you can set up the car, basically each drive mode obviously changes everything along with your gauge cluster, or you can kind of mix and match and customize it. But the steering in sport feels really good.
I am shocked with its weight because your GTR weighed
about the same as this.
About the same?
I had the all-wheel drive and about 100 more, well, my car had another 300 horsepower, but all-wheel drive obviously let me manage that. This doesn't feel heavy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of modern cars, obviously they're getting a lot heavier. I mean, the M4 is a 4,000 pound car. The M2 even isn't even a little light car anymore. The Nissan Z is a heavy car. I feel like as much as that is happening, we're not feeling it translate to, it's not like Dodge Challenger, you know, driving around these turns.
Maybe we'll get one of those so we can see what it's like on a road like this.
Yeah. So that's full throttle. It's definitely a healthy motor. You know, if you're used to turbos, it doesn't have the extra kick, but I mean, that gets up to 70 without thinking. I like the steering and balance. It definitely is a big change from the old generations.
As a passenger, it feels just as normal too, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, you're really cradled in those seats.
Yeah, I do like these seats. They have been comfortable to drive. They're not hard to get in and out of. And I haven't used the back seat at all. but
yeah, the steering, it makes this car feel a lot lighter. Like I like the steering wheel too. It's small, it's thick, got the flat bottom design. There's a little kick in between shifting, which I still prefer like a ZF 8-speed or a dual clutch over the way Ford does this, but it's not bad. I would prefer the manual. I'm not 100% sure if the Tremec is available, like in the Dark Horse. I'm not too sure on all that. So I know
there's a manual for this.
Well, the Tremec manual. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the previous normal manuals, and obviously you'd want the Mach 1 to get that Tremec. I can't remember on the new car.
I feel like it's an updated manual. It drives really nice.
Yeah, the standard one
I don't know which
has been improved, but yeah, I can't remember if the Tremec's available. But I feel like the automatic is fun to rip through. Like, it's not boring or sluggish if you're ripping on the car.
This drive has changed my mind from daily driving.
Yeah, because I'm in 5th gear. I'm definitely not hitting anything higher than that.
Yeah.
It's responsive in the downshifts. It's doing its own rev match and everything.
It lets you rev the car out too. So even with the amount of gears,
it doesn't.
You can have fun with those few.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like each gear is like a couple hundred RPM. You know, you got to shift.
Yeah.
So they've done a good job, I guess, gearing it to where you can have a normal 5 gears to play with, like a normal 6-speed, really.
Yeah.
And then the rest are overdrive. So just if you are around town, don't be cruising a manual in 10th gear because you're not using the transmission the best way, I guess.
Yeah, I will say daily driving in the drive setting is better, just because, like I said earlier, slower speeds, you're not really wanting to shift because it's kind of going through them.
Yeah. But this is snappy. I'm impressed with the handling. Like going around that was like back to back to back. It handles so well. Not just for a Mustang, but for a sports car, it handles really well. It's confident drive, it's fun. I could see doing, Tail of Dragon or a track day or something with this.
Oh, this would be night and day difference with the EcoBoost we drove on the tail.
Yeah, even if that one had the handling package, it still wouldn't be like this.
Yeah.
Like, very direct. And in track mode, you know, traction control is still on. Tail end's not going to come out or anything. It's going to let you push the car without going crazy.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good things to say about this.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to drive this versus the GT with performance package and everything.
Yeah.
Like, or what are you really getting with the Dark Horse? Is it worth the increase in price over a top-of-the-line GT?
I would assume maybe the seats and a few other things. I
think you can get the
them.
seats.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it maybe just the blue accents. So I'm not too sure. I'm not the biggest Mustang guy in the world, but nonetheless, for what, 73 grand as tested, it's a confident car. I mean, it's right there with a more basic BMW M4, which won't have the plastic carbon fiber, but this gives you the muscle car V8, confident handling. Good enough power, certainly not going to be as powerful as an M4, but you know, there's a lot going for this for sure. Yeah, drive definitely, those are high downshifts. We're in 5,000 RPM.
But it's probably because you're in sport mode too.
Exactly.
Normal mode will tone it down a whole lot.
Basically, if you're driving in normal mode, you shouldn't be doing anything fun, I guess.
Yeah.
This car, put it in sport mode or track mode, and even in drive, it's going to really rip, so.
It sounds good.
Man, should we keep going or stop here?
Well, we're gonna do our back with the POV, so you guys take a look at that. So
stop
you can.
Here.
Oh yeah. So you can take a listen to just the exhaust.
Yeah.
But this has been a cool car to daily drive. I'm not the biggest Mustang fan either, and I think the EcoBoost kind of brought that level down. But with this.
This is a real car, a real sports car. It's got serious, well, I wouldn't say serious power, just because if you're used to turbo cars, you can get 700 horsepower to turbo cars.
Yeah.
But it's got very good power, very healthy motor. Handling, outstanding, especially not only for a Mustang, but for a car like...
Yeah, especially of this weight too, and rear wheel drive.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Man.
So...
Totally different perspective.
Yeah.
This is not just a Mustang. This is definitely a top dog, a top horse.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and the all-new Dark Horse. Hopefully we'll get a manual at some point to experience that, but the auto can be just as fun if you're not a 3-pedals type of person.
It's snappy and responsive.
Yeah.
It does what you need it to do when you're getting on, and you have the, you know, if you're in traffic, you don't have to shift. So it's got a good blend, just got to drive it the right way to get the best out of it, I would say. But
yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button. We will see you all in the next video.